Greetings.
That's right.
Alright. What do we have here now? Oh, there's a quest right in front of us. Would you help the man in need? Who was it that was talking to us? This guy?
Sorry to trouble you, but I really have no choice.
What is it?
Our ship was wrecked against the rocky shore during the last storm. I've lost everything.
How am I supposed to help?
I haven't even got the coin for the journey home, and with each day's delay I draw closer to bankruptcy.
Might have guessed you'd come around to coin. So, need a loan? Or is it just alms you're after?
I shall pay you back every last copper, I swear it. You need only call on me at my address in Novigrad.
Sure.
Fine, I'll help you. I visit Novigrad often enough. Might stop by, see how business is going.
Thank you. You'll find me in the Port District. My name's Johan Bonner.
See you later then.
Johan Owner. Okay. It's a good name, I guess.
Hey there, friend. What's the rush?
What's the rush? Alright, so what are our quests now? The king's dead, long live the king. Meet Yennefer at the entrance to Craite the keep. Or go to Yennefer's room and put on formal attire. Gwent Skellige style. Is Ermion still around? Nah, he's back to his... Wait, where is he? Oh, it doesn't even tell us. He's not anywhere, it seems. Interesting. Fists of Fury, those are further away now, I reckon. There's one in Harviken and one in this little village. Right. Undvik's not here. Could do that one. Collapsed bridge north of Arenbjorn. That'd be like a boat ride away. Variant Dankness. Moira Diablen. Talked of witnesses of the Drowner attacks. Where's that? Oh. How many are there? Oh, just 2. Okay. I guess. Is that you?
Are you Tove? I was told drowners killed your husband.
Then you were told right. First the sea took my son, and now me man. I'm the only one left. Chavilla, our son, he went out fishing and didn't come back. My man would walk out to the Cerys cliffs every day to watch for his boat. I told him he cannot bring him back to life, and that he could die himself. We'd heard about drowners, but he couldn't sit still. Donned his old coat and went. One night, he didn't come home. I fetched me brother, grabbed a torch, and we went looking for him. The Moira Diablen, sea fiends. They'd clawed him so bad, I only knew him by his coat.
Small comfort, I know. But the drowner problem will soon end. I promise you that. Farewell.
Second one is... investigate the place where the drowners were seen using your Witcher senses. Alright. Second one is... some meters after the sign.
Hey there.
This one?
Every man
One of
on
these
the
guys?
so bloodless.
Rurik, right? Heard you were on a boat the drowners attacked.
Aye, I was. With Ulf, my cousin, gathering our
Ulf.
crab traps off the Cerys cliffs. Ulf was pulling up a line, having a hard time of it. Well, grand, I thought. Cage has got to be full, it'll be a good haul. Then something tugged back and down. Weren't a blink and Ulf was underwater. Called after him, Once, twice, thrice. Then the water went red with blood. And I smelled something horrid. Rotten, but worse. And the Muir Diablin flipped the boat. Don't even know how I made it ashore. Must have had Freyr watching over me.
That, or the monsters had eaten their fill. Thanks for the story.
Right. I knew there was a herbalist here.
Why the spit not? You're gonna get hit in the gut and those herrings get tangled in your ear.
Which one exactly, though?
Shouldn't eat or drink too much horror.
I thought it was that straight ahead. And I think it is.
Rebel till you drop.
Let's see the herbalist zone. Seems like it.
Would you like to buy something from me stash?
Would you like to be? Show me what you have.
Maybe. Let me see what you got.
Journey to the end of the world and heraldic animals. We don't have those yet. What are you buying though? It's buying food, of course. Rot fiend blood. Yeah. Sure, let's play Gwent. Then
Let's play cards. Gwent wouldn't be bad.
Oh, not Nilfgaard though. Or, I mean... Nah, I don't think our Nilfgaard deck is strong enough yet. He's playing Nilfgaard though. Alright. So, especially against Nilfgaard, a decoy is a good idea. That's not brilliant. Don't have a single spy, huh? Well, yeah, that's a little better. Let's start with Sheila and Death Mold, I guess. Fringilla. Oh? Oh god, I don't even know. I guess I'll play Roach. He's got a more run Vorhis, alright. I mean, I guess I'm gonna do this now, huh? Hope he concedes, maybe. Oh. Oh, that's just kills my Death Mold. I'm 5 in the lead. Guess I'll do this. Still not resigning, huh? I think I'm a pass now, though. If he really wants to spend the resources on beating that, then I'm gonna be in quite a card advantage. Yeah, that's not enough. That might be enough. Yeah, okay. So he's got 2 cards now. As long as it's not a spy, I should be fine. Oh, okay. That's useless. I mean, even if it is a spy, I can decoy it. Oh, he's passed, has he? What a shame for him. And we get another card now. Yeah. Got him. What card do we get? Stefan Skellen. I think that's a Skellige card, right?
Would you like to?
Goodbye.
So long.
Right.
Foreigner, what's your
Let's see what
status?
clothes Yennefer has laid out for us.
This has gotta be Yen's room. She always did like space. And
I
the
mean,
lux-
let's look at that. That's typical Yen, right? She just, yeah. I mean, she just rented out like more than 50% of the inn. Because she just can't be bothered not living in luxury, I guess. Ah, Yen. So many reasons to dislike you. What's here? Elegant, oh, okay. Put on new clothes. I don't think so.
Tisaya de Vries, the poisoned source. Still turns to it for inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Her megascope? Guess she never goes anywhere without it. As Philippa Eilhart said, megascopes and toothbrushes, deeply personal possessions.
Haha. What's in here? Oh, that's my stash, actually. Alright. Yeah, I don't wanna... I don't want to put stuff in my stash that's not like in some sense special. I do have, of course, all my paintings. What's this again? And yeah, figurines, the masks, all the Witcher armors, and Temerian armor and whatever. All, what, only mastercrafted? I thought I had everything Grandmaster level. What's this? Mastercrafted feline. Oh yeah, I do have Grandmaster feline, of course. Somewhere else. Which one is feline or Fieri? Grandmaster feline, there we go. Because I do have all the Grandmaster sets. That's from last playthrough, of course. So I gotta make new ones. Geralt of Rivia's sword. Yeah, well. That's the Viper armor, right? Don't want to put any of these things in there. Well, except maybe for the Elegance Gallagher stuff. Or do I have that? I do have the courtiers doublets. $116 armor. Huh. Festive slippers. Skellige breeches. Skellige breeches. Also the Offieri crossbow and the feline crossbow. Harlequin mask. I mean, I could wear a stupid mask as well. Let's see what we look like though. Because I mean, I feel like the glasses, they're pretty OP anyways. Where are those at? There we go. It's not bad. I mean, man. Wait. Where'd my Harlequin mask go? Wait, what? Where'd it go? Supposed to be here somewhere, huh? Okay. Also, where'd my glasses go? Is that a bug? Oh god, help. Also, I think I'm gonna be doing a little bit of catching up on my books here in a second. Alright, I want my glasses, please. Oh, there's a Harlequin mask. Glasses, alright. Yeah, no, I think we're fine like this. We'll just wear our armor and annoy Yennefer that way. And wear our douchey haircut and the glasses, of course. And I think we're good then. Right. So that's our stash. What else do we have? Some food, some more books. Does she have like any letters lying around that we could... Yennefer's journal. Oh. My thoughts turn with increasing frequency to the idea of capturing a djinn. It could just harness its... if I could just harness its power, there's much I would gain. Amos Varipsis' tome confirms that what I have long suspected, that despite my failure to do so previously, taming a djinn is in fact possible. According to Varipsis, the difficulties involved in bending such a being to one's will can be overcome. He managed to do so, at least. Alas, this does not mean his methods will necessarily be useful to me. Each djinn is different. Each case requires a singular approach. I have more experience unraveling such magic riddles than anyone else alive, and if Geralt, with his talent for wrestling unruly magic beings, agrees to help, we might just find a way to do it. The problem is we must find a djinn, a daunting task unto itself. Yeah, we've read that before. And that's from the Viper gear, from the Cat School gear, right? Yeah. Monumenta el Forum. So I guess we'll just hang out in Yennefer's room, catch up on our reading a bit. So to my beloved, why? I still await your kestrel, Istred of Ad Ginvel. Let us begin, dear reader, with a riddle. What links a town like Vizima, the proud capital of Temeria, or Oxenford, a center of learning for all the north, with Ad Ginvel, a provincial settlement at the end of the known world? Nothing, it would seem. After all, each of these places looks, sounds, and even smells different. Their origins, however, are identical. All were founded atop ancient elven cities. The ruins sprawling beneath their streets bear witness to this fact. A tour of elven monuments is best begun in Vizima, in the city's sewers to be precise. A dangerous place to be sure, so it is worth bringing along a well-armed guide. A branch of the sewers leads to the remains of an ancient city. One can still admire its masterfully crafted plafonds, peer into its immaculately polished marble facings, find artifacts discarded by the elder race, and hold ancient tomes that disintegrate in one's hands. Equally impressive monuments of elven culture can be found only in Oxenford, as well as somewhere in the wilds of Velen, though I have been unable to verify this information personally. What caused elven civilization to collapse? Plague? Cataclysm? No, dear reader. That destruction was caused by us, by humans. We drove the elves from their cities, and instead of occupying their marvelous palaces, we dismantled them to build our meager and crooked huts. All that remains is that which we covered in debris and sludge, and then wiped from our memories for centuries. These are the contracts. We've read those before. The Horse Whistler. Breaking in a horse's psyche is a simple matter of instilling your will as the rider into your mount, acquiring its trust and training its obedience. Horses are intelligent, noble beasts, so they should be treated with tenderness and a decisive and firm energy. Meyer, the unquestioned authority in this area, emphasizes that when training one's mount, the rider must eternally be on the lookout for errors in the training itself. Every time the taming process ends in failure, the raider must look for the blocking error, first of all, in his own actions, secondly in the horse's anatomy, and only in a last resort by concluding the horse has a naturally difficult temperament. Adhering to this principle protects one from undue punishments, which destroy the possibility of reaching an understanding between rider and mount, and make it impossible to gain the animal's trust. What? Bestiary entry? Alright. Lessons. Heraldic animals. Of all the heraldic beasts, lions and griffins are the most noble and pure. Let us speak first of griffins, for the creatures from which the armorialists draw inspiration combine elements of both eagles and lions, and thus contain within them both rulers of the animal kingdom. Griffins are brave hunters, and the most chivalrous of creatures known to man. Before they snap down from the heavens upon their prey like a divine whip, they let out a long, piercing shriek in warning, so that the victim may prepare itself for the imminent attack. Griffins do not fear to attack armed men. In fact, they prefer such prey, for defeating a knight flatters their pride. They even attack fiends, the terror of the Velen wilderness. So honorable is their nature. Journey to the end of the world. Sirens, the harpies' distant relatives, are winged monsters found in the Skellige archipelago, most frequently on unpopulated isles or in the inaccessible coastal areas of populated ones. According to legend, they are daughters of the mythical winged giant Hraesvelg, who lives on the edge of the world and boasts gales with a waving of its wings. Hraesvelg's daughters seek out the company of giants and often make their nests near their lairs. These creatures attack boats and ships from the air, tearing sails and rigging to shreds and rendering the vessels immobile. At times they will snatch men or cattle from the deck and drop them from great heights to their deaths. They also attack travelers trekking across isolated beaches. Pearls of the North, Oxenford. Oxenford, a gem snuggling into the bosom of the Pontar to the east of Novigrad. A cradle erected upon Redanian soil, nurturing the greatest minds not only of that kingdom, but of all the North. To walk its hallowed academy's halls is to embark on a journey through learning, from the finest points of philosophy to the grandest strokes of art, with stops made to admire architecture and dissect medicine along the way. Peer to either side, and you will spy fellow travelers in your pilgrimage of learning, the students. They throng Oxenford's streets, lending it an indelible imprint of youth that can be felt the moment you pass through its gates. Dormitories stand cheek by jowl, booksellers hawk used tomes on every corner, and under every tree fresh faces debate poetry with a passion. Yet youth is not all slate and compass, and the young here shirk none of its other typical pastimes. Raucous and merry are the city streets, both by day and even more so by night. Though the city councillors have forbidden the sale of alcohol after dusk, no one seems eager to enforce this with stricture, and wisely so, for any loss of sleep is more than made up for by the gains. Profits to fatten the innkeeper's pockets, and the late-night crooning of troubadours to enrich the soul. As for its architecture, of particular note are the recently renovated elven aqueducts used to clean the city's sewers. They stand as witness to the city's innovative spirit. You'll not find their like in all the civilized world. Yet dominating the town's architectural visage like a glistening crown is the complex of buildings that comprises the Oxenford Academy. Few today remember that these edifices constructed by the elves predate the city itself. It is the institution that named the city and not vice versa. Today, Oxenford Academy enjoys a reputation matched only by the Imperial Academy in Nilfgaard. Of greatest renown, the departments of alchemy, natural history, minstrelsy and poetry, medicine and herbology, engineering, and last but certainly not least, philosophy. High-stakes Gwent tournament. Count Tybalt invites you to come to the Passiflora, where you shall proudly host a high-stakes Gwent tournament. An offer will not only be riveting play against superb opponents, but also fabulous prizes for the victors. Yeah, we've read these before. Actually, I don't know if we've read the Major Alexander's logs, because that's from the Fyke Isle quest, right? Day 237. My experiments continue to return results I must consider unreliable. Methodological errors are not at fault. The problem lies in the shoddy and fallible research material I am forced to work with. Despite his prior assurance, Viserat is unable to provide me with enough moderately healthy specimens for my tests. Most of the material is starved and terrified. Material. Having been dragged here straight from the dungeon. I waste a great deal of time daily washing and delousing them before I will so much as let them step foot in my laboratory. Sterility first. As Marty Sodergren managed to prove in a little-known work, the attitude of a patient undergoing treatment can have a significant impact on the battle against the disease. Unfortunately, the volunteers with which I am supplied do not show sufficient comprehension, let alone enthusiasm for the noble work in which they are taking part. In fact, it seems they consider research part of their punishment. I've tried a few times, though I am but a poor speaker, to convince them that they are contributing to the eradication of one of the greatest plagues tormenting mankind. I had the distinct impression they understood little, but perhaps their stupor was merely the result of the early stages of the illness. Of course, it is impossible to achieve success without significant sacrifices. The overwhelming majority of them will have to lay down their trifling lives on the altar of learning. That is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Day 346. I never did like rats, not because of their obscene tales, but rather on account of their lively, disturbing intelligence. They're always listening when a man believes he's talking only to himself, and what's worse, they seem to understand. A few days ago I caught myself talking to one of them, to a particularly large black male with a torn off ear. First I was overcome by panic. Was this a first manifestation of the illness? Of course that was impossible, for I had fortified my immunity with powerful spells. Upon further consideration, I concluded it was an altogether natural reflex, one even the most learned among us find hard to restrain. We mages like to be listened to. I placed the black rat in a separate cage. The time will come for it to play a part in the tests. Meanwhile, it can keep me company and observe. I've noticed it looks with great concentration at the cages of its infected brethren, particularly those in the last stages of illness. Fascinating. Speaking of company, I have none. Alright. Besides the black rat, and cannot hope for better. Sarah devoids the laboratory and has expressed his desire for his daughter to stay clear of me as well. At first I thought he feared a moral scandal, which could be risible in the extreme, but he explained the true reason in true reason in due course. It seems Annabel has always possessed a fragile psychic condition. Observing the ill might throw her into foul humours. The peasants taking part in the study have stopped speaking to me. I don't know what they believe this little act of defiance will serve. It does me no harm. They made for lousy conversation partners. There remains, of course, the woman, but as for her, I try to limit my contact. Day 362. My black rat has died. Today I found him curled up in his cage. I suspected he had become infected on accident, but during the autopsy I did not uncover any signs of illness. He was also perfectly well fed. Strange. From a medical point of view, his death remains unexplained, something which, I must admit, irritates the scholar in me. But as mentioned previously, I'm not particularly fond of rats. This guy seems unstable. The conjunction of the spheres. Haven't we read this before? Well, I guess not. Scholars have many vices. Possibly the worst among them is a tendency to describe the simple in unnecessarily complex terms, to dress the plain in the garb of false learning. The conjunction of the spheres might serve as an excellent example of this. This name, so mysterious to a commoner's ear, could be replaced with a much simpler alternative: when the worlds collided. The phenomenon itself can also be explained in terms simple enough for a child to understand. Imagine, dear reader, that our world is a ship sailing on a great sea. From its deck we can see other distant vessels. Those are the stars. These vessels each bear their own goods and their own crews. They usually pass us at some distance, barely visible specks, even viewed through a spyglass. Once every few thousand years, however, a storm breaks above this cosmic sea. The storm so strong it tosses the ships towards one another, making them sail cheek by jowl. Part of the crew of one ship can, at such times, move to another, and some of the cargo from one ship's hold can spill onto a neighboring vessel. When the weather calms, the ships separate once again and sail their separate, invariably different ways. The so-called post-conjunction beings, namely monsters such as ghouls and basilisks, are precisely such passengers from another vessel. We humans are castaways, flung against our will from somewhere far away into a world previously inhabited by the elder races. Once here, we learned the arcane mysteries of magic, unbeknownst to us before. Could the worlds collide once more? Perhaps. Can this cataclysm be avoided, or the opposite hastened? Some scholars believe there are beings who have mastered this skill, who possess rare genes allow which some to seize the helm of our vessel and steer us to safer waters, or to our doom. Contracts. The Lodge of Sorceresses. Just as warty, slime-slathered toads croak out into the fetid swamp in search of kindred company, so too do sorceresses seek their own kind, driven together and scheme against all that is good and worthy. The coven gathering the worst of them, the nab of those utterly depraved and swollen thick with the pus of magic, was the lodge of sorceresses. The friends of the first fiends of this lodge were Philippa Eilhard, Lady of Monte Calvo, Tris Marigold of Maribor, Kira Metz of Carreras, Margarita Loantil, Sheila de Tansaville of Craiden, Sabrina Glavisic of Artcarreg, Fringilla Vigo of Beauclair, Francesca Finderbeyer, and Ida Emin, elven women, Asirefar Anahid, and Yennefer of Vengerberg. On the summit of Bold Mountain they gathered, witches all, to swear fealty to their devils and demons, their masters and lovers, and to promise to bring doom upon those living in peace in the northern realms. 'Twas they who stood behind the murders of Damavend, King of Aedirn, Foltest, King of Temeria, and many other noblemen besides. 'Twas they who brought out the outbreak of yet another war with Nilfgaard. 'Twas they who sent plague and pox against decent, gods-fearing folk. Yet take comfort, dear reader, for that deed shall not go unpunished. Our gracious leader, Radovid, fifth of his name, saw through their lies and swore their deaths. Deaths as inevitable as they shall be painful. Oh god. And what I love about the Witcher universe, right, is that this obviously is, on the one hand, this obviously is like propaganda and hate speech. But on the other hand, I mean, some of these accusations aren't entirely untrue, right? I mean, you could always argue that things are, of course, more difficult. And what they're doing in this text is just providing, like, simple answers to complex questions, like, you know, populists and right-wingers often do. But it's not like everything is a straight-up lie. I mean, as we've seen with Kira, and the research by the mage Alexander, sometimes mages look into diseases and look into ways to either stop them or, in Kira's case, bring the recipe to Radovid. And in the end, this might contribute to the disease being used as a biological weapon. Also, they did have a hand in the assassinations of the kings in Witcher 2, right? It's just that, I mean, they were just part of a much bigger political scheme in which Nilfgaard was involved as well. And actually, they were backing the experiment in Upper Aedirn with a very, like, democratically controlled state as well. So they did throw the north in disarray, but not necessarily... I mean, you could argue this, right? Not necessarily for their own selfish reasons only, but also because they wanted to do good, possibly. I mean, this, in the end, this really depends on your point of view, right? What's definitely problematic about this is the glorification of, like, Radovid, of course, because he's just like a piece of shit, right? And Radovid himself is not above using biological weapons, as we've seen or as we will see. So, interesting. So complex, this whole issue. I love the politics in this. So travel between worlds. Running through many folktales is a common motive of travel between worlds. By way of example, think of Orpheus, who ventured into the nether realms to serve his beloved. Theodore, who, fleeing hurricane, found himself in the drab of a monotonous world of Zoo. Or Asila, who tumbled down a ferret hole, Alice, that is, into a land that had never heard of wonder. What? Oh, that's cool. That's Asila, that's Alice backwards, and that's the story backwards as well. Tumble down into a ferret hole into a land that had never heard of wonder. Also of this ilk are the many rural legends about people captured by the wild hunt, only to return to their homelands after years riding the sky with a spectral cavalcade. Academia has, for the most part, dismissed these tales as mere epiphenomena of human irrationality. I, on the other hand, always operate on the assumption that a grain of truth lies in every tale, and so I've decided to make it my goal to find it. After years of research, I've ascertained with great certainty, that's pretty shitty writing, that travel between worlds was once indeed possible, though only to a select few. The key is the so-called elder blood, or rather, to use the scholarly term, the gene of Lara Dorren, the powerful elven sorceress. By comparing her genealogical tables against all known folk tales, I've been able to determine that she and her descendants were the archetype of the world's traveling heroes of many legends. The bearers of Lara's gene possessed an extraordinary talent which allowed them to move through time and space and to reach realms beyond the borders of the known world. The overwhelming majority of them, however, did not know how to control this. It would only manifest itself in extreme situations, pushed out by sudden bursts of emotion, or when the bearer's life was at risk. That is how the above-mentioned Ophelius, in shock after the death of his wife, could in fact journey to another world, which he foolishly mistook for the afterlife. A hurricane provided the pressure needed for Theodore, terrorized at home by his zany Uncle N, to unleash his talent and teleport to a world free from madcap antics. If we read between the lines, we clearly see Isilla was a prostitute and a fistech addict. The ferret hole represents how, when she had reached rock bottom, she whisked herself away to another universe to get sober. Unfortunately for any future Asilasses, the sad conclusion of my research is this. Lara Dorren's line has been irrevocably cut off. The last bearer of her gene, Cyrilla Fiona Ellen Rhiannon, heiress to the throne of Cintra, died childless many years ago. Not true. Contract? Witchers, not quite the devils you thought. A conviction has arisen amongst both mages and the hoi polloi. The hoi polloi? The witchers barely rise a hair's breadth above animals. That they are deformed and bloodthirsty mutants, and that in slaking this thirst they do not limit themselves to the fluids of monsters. Meanwhile, the research and observations of Virgil of Bernard paint an entirely different picture of the case. Of course, it is an indisputable fact that the mutations witches undergo influence their temperament, immune system, strength, and endurance, yet one cannot consider them unthinking beings forged only for killing as a result. In fact, witches cultivated a unique culture, a specialized body of knowledge, an effective training system, and even a code of honor. They know an incredible amount about the effects of ingesting various organic and inorganic substances, and also a small amount, but nevertheless something, about the fundamentals of magic, by which I mean the simple spells they call signs. On the surface, the witches appear to be a homogeneous social entity, but in truth their fighting styles, training regimens, and worldviews differ significantly depending on the school to which they adhere. The best-known witcher schools on the continent are the School of the Wolf, the School of the Bear, the School of the Griffin, the School of the Viper, and the School of the Cat. Bestiary entry: My Evening with a Vampire. You will no doubt call me a liar, a cheat, and a madman. You will shake your head in pity and snort in disbelief. But I promise you, I swear on all the gods, everything which you shall read in the pages to follow is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I met the vampire of which I write years ago in an inn in Beauclair. He introduced himself to me as Regis and said he was a barber and a medic. Since he looked in every aspect like a mortal man, I might have never even suspected his true nature. Had not a fire broken out shortly thereafter in the establishment in which we were residing. This Regis, if that truly was his name, stood completely untouched by the flames, whereas my own clothing quickly caught fire. The vampire carried me out of the burning inn, saving my life from certain death, and then treated my numerous wounds. At first, Regis refused to answer my query as to how he had miraculously survived the furnace-like temperatures inside the burning inn, without so much as a scratch on his body or a hair singed on his head. Eventually, however, he must have sensed that I was a man of the world, one who would not jump to hasty judgment based on appearance or species, and revealed his identity, along with a great number of highly interesting facts. According to Regis, not all vampires are alike. This vast family contains both mindless catachans, fledders, and echimaras, who in form resemble overgrown bats far more than humans, as well as alps and bruxer, who look remarkably like comely maids. In addition to these, there are the even more powerful higher vampires, to which genus belonged my unexpected acquaintance. Not even a witcher can discern a higher vampire from a mortal man. Contrary to popular belief, they cannot be killed by pounding aspen stakes into their chests, nor by cutting off their heads, nor, as I can vouch for, based on personal experience, by fire. They do not fear running water, garlic, or the symbols of any creed. It might be some consolation to learn a vampire's bite does not turn a human into one of their number, and they do not in any way need our blood in order to survive. To them, it is merely a delicacy in which they indulge from time to time, like men do with fine wine. Regis asked me to keep his tale to myself, but now, as I lay on my deathbed, I feel that I must share this secret knowledge, even if it means breaking my word to this most noble individual. Yeah, we've read that before. The poisoned source. Oh yeah, that's new. We found this in Yennefer's room here, right? No one is born a mage. We still know too little about genetics and the mechanisms of heredity. We devote too little time and resources to this research. Sadly, we still conduct trials in the inheritance of magic ability using, let's say, natural methods. The results of these pseudo-experiments far too often can be seen in the gutters of our cities and begging outside our temple walls. Far too often we see and encounter brain-dead and moronic women covered in their own spittle and passing themselves off as prophetesses, seers, village diviners, and miracle workers. Cretins with brains degenerated by the uncontrolled power they inherited. This text seems like something that Yennefer would read. Disdain for everyone below her. Seems about right. These simpletons and fools can themselves breed, can pass on their abilities and continue the degeneration. Is anyone capable of foreseeing or defining what the last link in such a chain will look like? Most of us mages lose the ability to procreate as a result of changes and disruptions to the functioning of our pituitary glands. Others, sorceresses most often, mature into their magic powers with gonads intact. They can conceive and give birth, and have the audacity to consider that good fortune a blessing. Yet I repeat, no one is born a mage, and no one should be. Aware of the gravity of what I write, I provide an answer to the question posed at this summit in Cerys. I answer with every certitude. Each of us must decide what she wants to be, a sorceress or a mother. And as we know, this is a question that has plagued Yennefer for decades now. Right.
Glamour. Scent of lilac and gooseberries, even with the lid on. Taste hasn't changed.
So that's why Yennefer smells of lilac and gooseberries. It's her glamour, her false appearance.
No idea how she managed to bring so much clothing. Must have hired out a galleon. As usual, black and white.
Sure she has.
The stuffed unicorn. She fixed it.
Can't go without any luxury after all. Good old Yennefer. Who's above the lowly folk. Okay. I mean, we've read quite a few things now, so I think I'll look into my quest descriptions. And bestiary and character entries a little later. Should we go to the wake? Meet Yennefer at the entrance. I mean, sure. I think there is like kind of an elevator here somewhere. No quests are missing also right now.
Not with the black ones, but he does. If he breaks the truce,
What time is it? Like 3 AM? Okay. Right, so did we successfully call the elevator now? Is it coming at all? Yeah. There we go. Okay, there we go. Use. Thanks, guys. Tis very nice of you. This is the way out, right? Do I have to... Is it? No. Bridge to Craite. See what it says. This stone bridge was, according to legend, carved single-handedly by Grimdiar, the heroic founder of Clan Craite. Lady Yennefer. King Bran.
Bran was a great ruler.
He needs a worthy successor.
You speak as though you have someone in mind.
Skellige's troubles very much derive from it not being a hereditary monarchy. Any upstart can be king and destroy his predecessor's legacy.
The King of the Isles is a more symbolic position.
That should change as well. A strong leader who wields true power. That is what the times require.
I'm Geralt, a witcher.
Birna, Queen of Skellige. I'm glad we've met, but you must forgive me. Duty calls.
I can see you chose your own outfit. You know, of course, that together we look about as good as lace frills on a battle axe.
Everyone's got their style. Don't like funerals. Don't like feasts.
I know. You also dislike underdone meat and being teleported. But sometimes we must overcome our disgusts and prevail.
We should mingle before they all get drunk. There'll be no talking to anyone then.
Good thinking. I don't know what Craite wants, but when we meet with him, we should have clear minds.
I'm not gonna drink. Why dull my senses when I'm in such pleasant company?
Do you plan to compliment me all evening?
No.
I plan to tell you what I think.
friends we show heart, friends we show our backs.
So, what have you brought for the farewell feast?
Bread, sheep's milk cheese.
Our wagon's full of loot to be written from the Black Ones.
We've also wine from the temples of Melitele, remote ones. Wonder what'll please Bran more. Your victuals or our war booty?
Geralt, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Your beard.
Oh, also, what time is this? This is just before speaking to Yennefer, right? Because I was meaning to try out her alternative dress for this occasion. Wait, did I just crash the game? Oh, okay. Or do I have to... Probably have to go to... the main menu, right? I mean, let's... No, not the Grand Deck. Let's go to the main menu. Toggle on Yen's alternative outfit. I imagine that... Is that in gameplay? Yeah. Because I do like her normal outfit more. For the questing and everyday stuff, I think. Because it looks more manageable. But this is like a little more fancy and delicate, so it's maybe appropriate for the wake. Also, I don't know if we're loading. Yeah. Alright.
Yes.
Okay.
So, what have you brought from the farewell feast?
Bread, sheep's milk cheese.
Our wagon's full of loot to be written from the black ones.
We've also wine from the temples of Melitele.
Geralt, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Your beard. Why did you decide to grow it out?
Don't really know.
Must say it suits you.
Continental dandies come a strutting, then we gotta drag their corpses out of the inn.
Yes?
Lady Yennefer. Sir.
Greetings, Arnvald. My companion is Geralt of Rivia.
I am honored.
Nice to meet you too. Quite a few guests.
They come to bid their king farewell. They come to see the claimants to the crown.
We wanted to talk to Craite on Craite.
The Jarl will join us shortly. He's assigned you a place of honor at the table just beside his daughter Cerys. Follow me, please.
They've seated us here.
I asked them to. Wanted to meet the notorious witcher Geralt.
We've met. Don't remember?
That was ages ago. Yalmer and I were children when you last visited Orda. But you should meet your feast mates. Allow me the dubious honor. That's Halbjorn, son of Holger Blackhand. Blue boy Lugos, Madman Lugos' firstborn. And choking down a stockfish over there is Otrek on Hindar.
Forgive me. I remember our meeting all those years ago, but I don't recall your name.
Cerys on Craite. Crack, her dad, and her big brother Yalmer called a Sparrowhawk. A Yal's daughter she is. Fat lot of good it does her.
Cerys is jealous, for the one among us who performs the greatest feat will be crowned king.
We all know the feats are a sideshow. Our fathers will choose who will wear the crown. What do you think they spoke to Crack about?
You talk like that because you're short of strength and skill. Remember when Hjalmar challenged us all to a race up the mount? You didn't stand with us then. As he buried his axe in that stump at the top to mark his victory, you were warming your chicken bones by the fire.
Had my reasons for not participating, but I would have won then, as I'd win now.
Now that you mention him, just noticed Hjalmar's not here.
My brother walks his own paths. But about the race, why don't we repeat it? I'm willing to challenge any of you, Witcher included. If I beat him to the top, venture to say that'd be a feat, eh? So you in?
If the Witcher's in.
Geralt?
Gladly. What are the rules?
Whoever pulls Hjalmar's axe from the stump at the top of the hill wins. Stray off the path and you lose.
And here I was, ready to puke from all the boredom. Let's go!
I mean, yeah, sure.
We're here. From this spot, you must reach the top of that mountain. At the summit, you'll see the stump of an oak. Yalma's axe buried in it. Whoever pulls the axe from the stump first wins.
I'm ready.
You'll start when I sound the horn.
So I don't even know, do I want to let her win? Because I kind of want to support her claim to the throne. I like Cerys. But then again, I don't like losing. I don't think I like losing at all. She can prove her some other way. Prove herself, I mean.
I won, but only by a hair.
No such thing. There's winning and there's losing, and I lost. We best go back to the week.
Let's. See the wakes in full swing.
Lost sight of yous. Who won?
I lost.
Lost to a witcher, Sparrowhawk. And it'll likely happen to any of us. Enough of the natter and let's drink.
What I did say to Yennefer, I'm not gonna drink, right? So obviously I'm gonna drink.
To Cerys.
Pass the mead in a tankard for the man.
To Bran. May he want for nothing in the world beyond.
To my beautiful companion.
You've been great company. Sadly, it's time.
Oh yeah, and you're so full of shit.
Really?
Indeed. We must talk, but not here. You shall learn all beyond that door.
Alright. So... Oh, I failed that quest stage. Look at that. King's dead, long live the king. Craite, Craite, an old friend, invited Geralt and Yennefer to a farewell feast for the recently departed King Bran. One does not refuse such invitations in Skellige, and so, willing or not, Geralt had no choice but to meet Yennefer at the castle gates and attend the wake at her side. No choice indeed. Also, are there like any quests around here? Isn't there like fist fighting or something? Anyone we can talk with still before moving on?
Can we talk?
I know who you are, Geralt of Rivia. I'm Lugos. Madman's what many call me. Jarl of Clan Drummond's what I
am. Just out of curiosity, why do they call you Madman?
Yeah!
Alright. I get it.
That's one.
Two clans on one island. Tough to be neighbors so near each other.
A neighbor is one who lives nearby, not one who stole half your home. The Craite seized our lands.
In the days of Harold the Cripple. That was 3 centuries ago.
Doesn't change the fact they had no right. I'll rid Art Skellig of crack and his brood yet.
Well, nice meeting you two.
Farewell, Lugos.
Allow me to introduce Geralt of Rivia, a witcher.
Oh, what?
Geralt, Yaldona and Hinder.
We just spoke, actually.
Calling Lugos a madman's an insult to madmen. He's a common goat fucker.
Call me a goat fucker one more time, and I'll chop off your head, stick it on a pike, and piss down your neck hole.
Enough! Time to settle this. Here and now.
Oh, ha ha ha! Giving me a true fright right now. Shat my best trousers. Put that away before you cut yourself, you cunt. Settle this outside. Who the fuck are you to advise me, eh?
Someone with better manners. You insult Bran's memory and Crach's hospitality with this. Emperor would be very pleased to hear you quarrel.
His Imperial Majesty is more than welcome to visit.
Let him sail over here. We ain't afraid of the black ones.
Raiding coastal villages is one thing. Total war with the Empire is another.
Awfully mouthy,
Yeah,
this
we
one.
know you have a hard
Don't
on for
stir
him,
your
yeah,
cauldron
Yennefer.
and pierce some boils, witch. Don't talk when you haven't got a fucking clue.
I don't really feel like defending Yennefer. But also, I kind of want to punch this guy.
Know what, Lugos? Just realized I don't give a damn about your hallowed rules of hospitality.
Finally, some diversion. And here I was ready to puke from all the boredom.
That seems
Come
like
on, freak. Show us what you're made of.
seems like what everyone
Move
says.
the benches. There's to be some gob slapping.
Gob slapping. Let's do some gob slapping.
Well, how long you gonna make me wait?
I can see your punches coming from a mile away, Lugos. There we go.
Had enough?
You got me good. That were quite a wallop. Still seeing spots, room rocking like a leaky tub in a hurricane.
We'll call it even then, as soon as you apologize to the lady.
Don't hold it against me, milady. It's my deep conviction sorceresses are needed. Deeply so.
No offense taken. Forget about it.
That I like. And the knocking. It's what men do. Give me your paw, Witcher. Let me squeeze. It's a worthy one. Witcher, have a drink with me. Proof there's no hard feelings.
Sure.
Visit me at times, I insist.
I
Lauren's
insist.
been jabbering about bringing in a Witcher for that haunted lighthouse. Do me a favour. Meet him for an ale in the tavern near Arenbjorn. Then you put a short jaunt to find me, so as we can knock back something stronger. Here's to our next.
Of course I'll drink.
Sure, I'll knock one back with you, Lugos. Nothing wrong with having a drink in good company.
I remind you we've important matters to discuss later. Matters that require a clear mind.
I remember.
Drink like you fight, and we're in for a good time. To Bran!
To Jarl Madman Lugos and his madness.
Yennefer's like, oh god, what's
Forgive
he
us.
doing?
We should mingle, talk to some of the other guests.
Okay. What else is here? Because I don't want to go on yet. I want to speak to everyone. Can you not do that here?
What's that mean? The Isles are in for hard times. Speak clear.
The heart was deformed. An ill omen always.
An ill omen for me as well. Hear me. What'll become of me?
Fear not, Jarl. I'll not let you perish. I assure you. You need only follow my counsel.
I present to you Geralt of Rivia. Geralt, this is Udalric, Jarl of the Brockford clan, from Speakerog, and his advisor Hjort.
The White Wolf.
Greetings.
If you don't mind, Yen, I'd like to ask about us. What's the future hold in store?
The one you seek, you will find. And then she will die.
That's not true.
So I won't meet a tall, dark stranger? I shall have to content myself with you, Geralt.
I sense the mockery in your voice, my lady. But may omens do not lie.
Well, they do. So,
Gotta say,
fuck you.
never really believed in omens and auguries.
One's belief, or lack thereof, makes no difference.
Tell him what awaits him. What you told me.
Your fates will intertwine. Yours and Udalwic's. You will walk in darkness. Before you, fire and shadow.
Hear that, Geralt? Everything clear now?
Didn't plan to visit Speakerog.
Man is not the master of his fate.
Thanks for the prediction.
You do not believe now, but you will yet remember my words.
You have a big nose.
Nice to meet you both.
A toast to honor King Bran's memory.
Of course.
To Bran.
You wanna sip,
Geralt,
Yen?
I need you to be sober.
May your futures not be as black as they look. Lord, the pain returns to my head. Once again, it starts.
We'll
What,
leave you
the
alone.
migraine?
Strange man.
I hear he's very sick, carrying himself unusually well tonight.
Okay. Short. Who else do we have?
Every man on the continent
Here for you.
The beasts.
Yes, let Freya be your guide. Geralt,
Oh, there's
this is
Birna.
Holger Blackhand, Birna, Bran's widow, and our hostess today. We've already met.
Widow? A widow's duty is to lie beside her husband.
A widow's duty is to care for the king's son.
Not by our customs, it ain't.
Your customs are barbarous.
Ah, look at Yen being so tasteful and understanding of other people's. She's just so superior, I can't even. She's like, power is great, Nilfgaard's great, Emir's great, I'm gonna ally myself with power and get the job done no matter what. And she's like, I don't know, the opposite of like understanding and rooting for the underdog and just being down to earth. She's also the opposite of empathy. No, Yen's not right.
Not our place to criticize, Yen. All peoples do things their own way.
We're talking about the self-immolation of women, not about decorating trees for Yule.
Harsh custom, but this is a harsh land. Tradition is Skellige's backbone.
People make laws, and people can change them.
Yes, that's true, but then they change it on their own, not because you tell them to.
Heard a lot of good things about Bran.
I will miss him sorely. I was not his first wife, but I bore him his firstborn son and saw him off on his final journey. We lived a great many years together.
Let's move on, Yen.
High time we did as well. Come, Svanriga.
Byrne is a scheming whore. Refuses to admit her reign's ended. Bran knew how to keep her in line. Let's drink to his memory.
To Bran!
To Bran.
We're supposed to move on.
Holger, to your health. Especially that black hand.
Now I've a toast. May the Emperor of Nilfgaard's prick stay as soft as a noodle.
That's a good
so there'll be
toast.
no foul spawn to take his place on the throne.
I'll drink to that. Will you, Yen?
We should go.
Oh. Svanriga and Twisak.
Aye? How are things on Pharaoh?
There as always, it's pissing buckets and fucking freezing.
Lovely.
See, you're bursting with pride.
No use cutting seal shit with honey. Pharaoh is a rock overgrown with pines, but we've no need for more.
Can't eat pine wood.
But use it to build a longship, and you'll eat your fill of what others have grown and bred, after you've taken their wenches and their gold. burned their homes to the ground. That's how Clan Dimon lives.
Farewell.
Gonna talk to Svanrigger?
Yes, Witcher?
Doesn't seem like it.
Yes?
Witcher?
Another one masturbating into his soup.
Pray with me.
Got a minute? Sad when someone like Bran dies. Everyone says he was a good king.
It's not fitting to speak elsewise about the dead.
You
Oh.
don't agree?
Bran spent his life at sea. And while he was away, old feuds flared, devouring the Isles from the inside. Folk grew furious, came when there was no one to mediate, resolve quarrels. But then Bran would return with loot, throw a feast, let the mead flow in rivers, and everyone loved him again.
Farewell.
I like Cerys. She's like super sensible. And also she's the one to support if you want like moderate change in Skellige at their own pace.
Stop your hollering!
Like it here.
And not like come in here and just ridicule their culture.
Simple chap.
Well, what is it?
We've spoken to him
Farewell,
before.
Lugos.
Okay. What's our quest say actually? Talk to Yennefer in private. I don't want it though. Is there anyone in the middle? Let's just walk over the table and see if there's anyone else.
Overhearing. Fate was unkind to your menfolk.
Widow's Isles. That's what Skellige is.
To you Continentals. War started a half-year back. We've been fighting Nilfgaard for years now.
And we're not like to ever stop.
Your husbands died glorious deaths.
Oh, aye. Gotten captained a longship, near 36 men aboard. Raided half a dozen Nilfgaardian villages, filled his hull with captives. On the return, they came across a black fleet, 3 galleons. But our men did not flee. Instead, they drew close and boarded. Gotten chopped off an imperial captain's head. Then they backed him against the rails. He died with a war cry on his lips.
My Hogda was a scout. Snuck into the enemy's camp. Hounds sniffed him out. When the Black Ones surrounded him, he slit his own throat, refused to let them question him.
Crach's sure to see that you're cared for.
Women don't need men to care for them, Geralt.
The sorceress speaks true. We take care of ourselves. War and death are twin sisters. We've long known both.
No one mourns here. Tears we replace with vengeance. The women of Skellige are fertile, and we birth no cowards.
Farewell. May your sons make port as many times as they sail out.
As the gods will it, so shall it be.
Must say, I like the women of Skellige. It's as if each one would make a good sorceress.
Can't think of a single sorceress from Skellige, let alone a famous one.
Litternaid, known also as Coral. Don't you remember?
I mean, for once we agree, Yennefer. I do like the women of Skellige too. Can we dance?
Need help?
Across the wide, somber sea. I must leave you behind. You might think me unkind. Across the wide, somber sea.
Okay, so I guess we've talked to everyone, right? Or can we talk to...
Yes?
Aye?
Oh, that's just this guy again.
Farewell.
Oh, is he barefoot? Oh, he is. Was there like a living rooster in here? No, not you again.
Farewell.
Okay. So let's speak to Yen in private.
What now?
Now we pay a visit to Ermion's laboratory.
Didn't know we'd been invited.
Because we've not been.
We shouldn't be breaking into Ermion's workshop.
If I didn't know you better, I'd say you needed to grow a pair. But I know that you simply enjoy complaining. It's the only reason you said that.
Why would we go there?
To retrieve an item. The Mask of Ouroboros. We'll need it and therefore must steal it.
Right. Course.
Come, Geralt.